The Elden Ring DLC is out and it is fantastical. There are beautiful landscapes, there are sick weapons, it even has talismans I don't know shit about or how they work. But most important, and to our luck, it is hard. In fact, so hard that I cried. Okay, maybe I didn't cry, but it is really hard. And I didn't know that in advance, so with the thought of how hard can this game really be, let's remove every piece of the base game and just use the DLC content. I didn't do myself a favor here. And honestly, I forgot I was New Game Plus 2, so imagine how pathetic I felt when I realized that this game isn't so simple. But enough, let's do the mandatory moke kill and touch those randomized fingers and go in. Ah, yes, the beautiful Shadowlands and... ooh, a grace. Don't mind if I take this one here. So, honestly, we are in. So what is the first thing we are gonna do here? A big ass fire dude in a distance? Or maybe investigate the nearby ruins? Why not do both? So, first things first. I went in the rune, smacked some ghosts, and I found a message. Then I somehow ended up on top of the ruin and there was a freaking chest. Hell fucking yeah. And inside, a talisman. Raises attack power after each critical hit. That's definitely some critical piece of equipment here, so might just equip it. Then Grace and Fire Dude, who has the Fire Giant's face as an accessory. I mean, why aren't we friends? Isn't there like a proverb that goes like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? But I guess not. So suck my tiny little toes, you ass, and I will come back later. Or maybe not. Let's see. But first, pick up the sickest weapon of all time. This also means remove this piece of garbage club and equip the reverse slasher bashers and pump them up all the way to 25. And look at those moves. I mean, come on, you can tell me that's just absolutely sick. Then I found map. And as I explored a little bit more, I found those weird noodle thingies. And I don't have words. What even is this? Can you explain this to me? I don't know what this is. But that's not the only thing I don't have words for. Because right next to those noodles, there was an entrance. And in fact, an entrance to my first boss encounter. So let's just go in and fuck him up. And that, my guys, was the moment I asked myself that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't the best decision to play the DLC like I was planning to. Because I really ain't that good in Souls-like games, and holy damn. I mean, I'm over level 200 and I'm getting completely decimated here from a random ass boss encounter which probably should be easy to kill, or maybe not, I don't know. So, no more business here. Let's continue exploring this beautiful Shadowlands. And hell yeah, I found my first Skadushki. Then I did a quick talk with this being, but please just shut up. Because I need to upgrade my Skadushki blessing. And with the new earned power, I ran approximately 50 meters and reached the next cross in front of a castle with yet another Skadushki. Then another talk, which I really tried listening to, but honestly my attention span is not made for this here, so I forgot about it and never looked back. I also tried to upgrade my blessing here again, but you already need 2 Skadushkis. I mean, greedy bastards, I just want to get stronger. What can I do now? I don't know, maybe the next best thing, which is castle in front of me, so big door and way too big spider right behind it, so fuck him up, and 2 pieces of revert spirit ash for me. You know, that's the spirit summon upgrade stuff, so also not that bad for people like me. Dog. And bro, like how are these normal enemies so strong? I mean, I'm almost getting one-shotted by some random ass ghost dudes. I mean, what the hell is going on? But you know, just almost getting one shot. Just almost. Because loser, sit. And then another craze. And maybe I am the loser now. Psych. You can suck it too, you random ass big enemy with 2 swords, which I just don't like. So then it didn't took long and I found my first invader. Basically just a few meters behind this double sword dude, which was a fire knight. And boy. At this moment I really thought that I need some defense, because like how should I advance anywhere like this? So I went there like for 15 attempts or so, but I just got one shot, okay, not one shot it, but two shot it like every time, so I needed a tactic. And I found one eventually. So I just did the ninja move, then a charge attack, then a ninja move again, and backed off. And that was like the strategy where he never hit me and I could just slowly remove his health bar. So I just repeated this process and success. I got my second talisman, which can increase attack power after defeating an enemy. So might as well just equip it. Then hidden path. Or not, assholes. Then that was an asshole too. Yeah. Then after that I found an elevator, which means shortcut from one craze and happy me. So I went up the stairs and you die and you die and you die, and then ignore every little enemy till I reach a grace, and of course die to this random ass ninja enemy dude. So after I came back to life I went down the stairs, fucked him up, and went back up and opened the door to encounter my first remembrance boss, the dancing lion.
O horn-decked beast from higher sphere delivered, take root inside the tower's sculpted keepers, and perched within, we beg of thee, rise. Dance of wood, cruelty, woe, and those who plague the tower. Cleanse away this trumpet's fire.
And yeah, I don't have any business here right now. So, see you later, dancing lion, see you later. So out the castle I explored a little, and I even found an Ash of War, which I didn't use for a while, but at least I found something. Then I found a dungeon, my first dungeon of the DLC, which was right under the castle and called the Belroy Jail. And on a first glance, it was really beautiful. Honestly, I just love the art here. It looks really nice. But as soon as you advance, the beautiful aspect was gone and just pure horror appeared, because like what the hell is that? That was like the moment where I thought like, is this what like Alexander looks like inside? But I didn't really know, but you know my thought. So whatever it is, it's better to get rid of it and run as fast as you can and then just jump until you're down, then get rid of some more jars and almost die to this little bit. And after some more yucky encounters and some more jumps, I eventually reached the end of the dungeon, and so another boss. In fact, the Swordmaster Once. And as expected, I got demolished. But it was fine, because for the first time I did some damage and the fight was fun. And even though he kinda got crazy from time to time, there was one simple trick to counter that. Don't do anything special, which I did the first attempt, you just have to smack him down. So just do your R1 attacks, don't do anything crazy, and he just can't do anything. So that's pretty easy if you do it like that. And as a reward I got a Spirit Ash, which is kinda amazing because I needed something to support me in my future boss fights. And yeah, that's where I am. And as I was about to leave, I explored a little more in this cave and I actually found my first hardware, the Great Jar. I mean, at this moment not my first one, because I didn't immediately realize that it is an armor I could equip. I thought it is like this cracked pot something thing, so I never looked into my inventory until like an hour later or so, but we come to that. So it was kind of my bad, but it doesn't matter. So out and about after this traumatic experience, I explored a little more and I finally found an armor. And holy guacamole, sexy as ever. Look at me. Look at this bird rig. Even fitting for my theme here. So that was kinda nice. After that, what's next? That is an excellent question if you ask me. So, big bridge, Skadushki, Grace, fighting some enemies and dropping a new headwear and a new weapon. which is exciting. So there I was. Maybe it wasn't even an hour later because it was like 20 minutes, but it's fine. So as I wanted to put on the new headwear, I realized I could put on this big jar. So I tried it on, but then quickly exchanged it because it just looked too stupid. I mean, actually it looked funny and I would use it, but it was just too big and distracting at this moment. So let's just equip the smaller helm and the perfume bottle I just got. Then run over the bridge, fight big enemy, realize the bottle does literally no damage, run back, equip the backhand blade, try again and just die. Then just equip the big jar headwear because I need more defense and do nothing with it because I just ran past the giant and never looked back until later into the game. But it didn't take long and I found Milady. So one more Skadushki and one weapon upgrade later, I equipped the Milady and continued my way. And honestly, don't tell me that this is anything else than smooth. Just a nice weapon. So I went up the castle and picked up yet another talisman and of course died. And this talisman can improve attacks after maintaining the same stance for a while, which honestly I didn't exactly know how to make use of it, but let's say it's pretty nice I guess, so I just equipped it. And honestly I also equipped it because I had 2 more slots left and yeah. So since I was a higher Skadushki level now and had better equipment, I thought about revisiting this early boss near the noodles. Okay. So it was time for more exploring and maybe farm a little bit more equipment because that's not the way to go. So I found a great katana, some random ass naked dude with some beast claws after beating him, some pants, the black steel great hammer, revert ash, Skadushki, painting and another Skadushki. Then once again I got invaded, but no problem. This time I somehow managed him first try, which was kinda satisfying. So, not far from this invasion, I found another dungeon. The Dragon's Pit, which had some pretty strong foes in it, but honestly that wasn't the interesting part. Once again, there were some funny messages, which of course this one time I didn't trust. But this one time they were kinda true, because honestly you could just jump down and get, to a new area I guess. So I didn't do that, and I never would have guessed to really jump down there. So I just didn't until much later in the game. But it's fine, that's how it goes. And as I went out, I pretty much immediately as I traveled through this area found another dungeon, which at the end gave me an ancient dragon, smithing stone and another weapon I never used. Then ash, another ash, and back to the castle where I noped out earlier. Then elevator, race and boss. And honestly, for a first try, it actually wasn't that bad, but the next 10 tries weren't any better, even with the summon. So better stuff or another strategy was the next step because I couldn't learn this at this point. So back to exploring. Skadushki, talisman which raises attack power when summoned spirit dies. That one is especially nice for me because I use summons and they die. So then Skadushki and I reached the Cerulean coast and wow, this area is just beautiful. And I really enjoyed exploring this here. And honestly, just running around, having this beautiful landscape, that's just another little experience which everyone should know. Then I found the corresponding map to this area and another Skadushki right after it. But I didn't want to lose myself here since this area would probably take me like another 10 hours or so, and at that point I just wanted to finally revisit Castle 1 with the Dancing Lion because I just wanted to kill my first real boss. It was just time. And honestly, at that stage it was actually doable. I had a higher blessing level, the backhand blades and almost something like an armor plus some talismans really made a difference here. Of course I didn't manage it immediately, but after like 2 or 3 tries I finally got my first big boss done. And the reward, kinda ridiculous. I mean, just look at it. No way I can play with that because that is just way too distracting, but I love it. And since it was a remembrance boss, we could receive a power. So either an Ash of War or a talisman which raises the potency of storms. Which I didn't know what this exactly means. But of course I made the wrong decision and took the Storm Ash of War. Because do you remember in the base game, in the OG era, where the Frost Storm was completely broken? Yeah, I thought about maybe it's something like this again. But no, that wasn't the case here. And the other part was I pretty much immediately got a weapon with a storm skill afterwards. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. So back to the reversed Renala, and honestly, that was my best attempt. More wasn't possible, and spending a few hours learning her moves wasn't my mood at that moment. It's never my mood, but at this moment right now especially not. So I thought about getting some better equipment, or at least better defense. So back to this fucker. And this time I found an easy strategy against him. Great Katana and just spam jump attacks. And that's it. As soon as I did that, it was laughably easy because he never could do any attacks. Or maybe sometimes one or two, but honestly, all in all, he just couldn't do anything. Then from him, I also got an armor set, which was really nice, and a new weapon, which, who would have thought, had this storm special skill I talked about a few seconds ago. I could have used this talisman for this weapon, which would have been probably pretty nice. So back to the boss and tried from a distance. But nope, I still didn't manage, or just didn't do enough damage, and maybe my skill isn't just here yet. So I went back out again and found myself once again in the Dragon's Pit cave, where this time I jumped down, put my hand on my forehead because I couldn't believe that you could actually jump down there, and did this, and I reached the dungeon's boss, the Ancient Dragon Man. But he was pretty easy to kill with the new weapon, because from a distance he couldn't do that much. You just have to dodge a few of his attacks, but all in all it's not that difficult of a fight. So as he was down, I got the Dragon's Hunter Great Katana, which was a game changer here, because I went back to Renala or Relana and used this weapon on her. And after a few tries, I finally managed to beat her, which means yet another remembrance reward for me, which also means another new amazing weapon for me, the Twin Blades. One fire and one magic blade. Well, sign me up. I immediately took it and played with it for a while. So fully upgraded, I advanced from the castle and reached the Scado Altus. And basically just straightforward, there was the next legacy dungeon, Shadowkeep. And right at the entrance of it was the golden hippopotamus. But my friend Yoshi and I made the impossible possible and destroyed this sucker. Because honestly Yoshi just distracted him and I did this swirly fire attack which just burned him down, and it just worked and it was nice because I hate big enemies. So after that I just continued my way and ended up in this storehouse, where in theory there are many levels to explore. But I of course accidentally took the only path which led me over to an elevator, down and to a bridge, where first off Grace, but second off disgusting brain thingy was. So I killed it and then tried to open this big door, but I couldn't. So when in doubt, go 2 steps to the right and go through the smaller door right next to the big one. Then, of course, big bridge, aggro fire dude. But to my luck, there was an elevator, which I went up and, oh baby, gravity hit again, because I don't know why, but those random enemies always seem to try to kill themselves around elevators. They just jump down. But I don't mind, because I got a new sexy headwear. And with it, I entered the ancient ruins of Ra, where I immediately killed myself for whatever reason. I thought I could jump down there, but it's fine. So I knew I needed to get down somehow, because in the distance everything was a little bit lower, so I guess I needed to get down too. But I had no clue how. So I went through some ruins and found a big door. And the big door is always a good indicator that you're on the right way. But you know what's even better? A second big door right after. So that's like, you know. I went through both and pretty soon Grace. And next to the Grace, Skadushki. then bridge, stairs, and suddenly some yucky rotting area, and pretty much immediately afterwards, a boss. Romina, saint of the butt. But ain't no way she's a fucking saint, because she's rotting everything everywhere. Can't be. Although that's pretty much how our world works, so I guess it's fine. So that saint didn't take much damage. So before going the hard way, I looked through my gear and realized there is a bunch of stuff I never touched. So to summarize my deep dive into my remaining equipment and into all the weapons, I went with the big bonker chonker. And holy moly, why did I ignore it so long? I thought it is like a random ass weapon which can't do anything. But honestly, that's the most damage I ever did up to this point. So that is like an amazing weapon, so why did I never use it? But it's fine. So I summoned Trilifdane and Yoshi, and they did a great job of tanking most of the hits, so I could make some heavy charge attacks and some jump and spinning attacks, whatever, which I like by the way. And it didn't take too long and we reached phase 2. And in phase 2 I of course died, because who would have guessed that the Saint does one hell of an rot AoE attack? I mean, come on, probably a little bit expectable, because phase 2 is always like a beginning AoE stuff thingy, whatever. But no worry, only like 13 attempts later I got it and managed to step on this bug. Then I started running and reached a tree. In fact, not any tree, it was a ceiling tree. In fact, the one which makes it impossible for you to enter the final area of the game unless you burn it down. But to burn it down you need something. And that something is a little spell. And that spell is Messmer's Candling. So I guess I got my next goal, right? Find Messmer, question mark, kill him, question mark, get the spell, question mark, something like that. And hello, Messmer.
Mongrel intruder. That tarnished, it seemeth. Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light? Yet, my purpose standeth unchanged. Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death. In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
And my boy, why is he so epic? I mean, he kinda escalates a little here, but it's fine, at least he has style. And honestly, my damage wasn't even so bad here. He is just way too quick. But that's also fine, because it is just a fun fight, and I'm just too weak, so it's totally fine. And honestly, in my opinion, he's just the sickest boss here. So maybe I didn't fight all the bosses yet, but honestly, he was just amazingly sick. So I needed to go away once again. And so I explored and found totally by accident and not looking it up on the World Wide Web a talisman which improves two-handed weapons, then a stamina recovery talisman and a fire damage negation talisman, and then another damage reduction talisman. So what an accident, finding all those essential items. So with them I went back to him and tried again. And after a few tries, I knew some of his moves, but honestly that was not what got me through. It mainly was luck. Because, I mean, yeah, I dodged a few here, but in this one try, I just panic rolled from time to time when he did some major attacks, and somehow it worked, and I just did it in the right time. I just had the right timing. So
Not suffer. A lord devoid of light. Oh, Mother, forgive me. Soon tarnished. Wilt thou be taken in the jaws of the abyssal serpent, shorn of light?
Honestly, it shouldn't have worked this way, but it did, and I take it because why not? So I got him down at this one special lucky attempt. And I got the spell I needed. So here I am, an arsonist having the spell in my hand to burn down a tree. So I entered this sick new area. And of course, with every sick new area, there are sick new enemies. And with killing them, I get sick new shoes. Look at them. Amazing. Then kill Fetty and up the stairs for a big door. And behind it, Grace and another Skadushki. And then basically the next part is pretty straightforward, is this whole area. Just advance higher up until we reach another Grace, and so of course another battle, where we suddenly fight against Needle Knight leader, and of course that's not enough, 2 of her followers. Which is kind of weird because like 5 minutes ago one of them helped me fighting another enemy, but okay, I guess. So basically it would have been a 3 versus 1, so that's not fair. So I had to make it a 3 versus 3, no other reason here. And honestly, maybe I could have made it a 2 versus 3 here, because this fight was kinda easy. At least it was the easiest fight until to this point. Maybe I got lucky, but somehow it just worked out, because I kinda annihilated the first follower immediately without getting any damage, and then as Stain and leader appeared, it was basically just a 1 versus 1 for me, since the summons kept Dane away. So that was kind of helpful, I would say. And then as soon as Dane was gone, it was a 3 versus 1, and well, yeah, that went by pretty fast because, yeah, just endless staggers and yeah, done. And with that fight done, I was now only 1 elevator off the final battle, which honestly was scary.
My loyal blade and champion of the festival. Both your deeds will ever be praised in song. Now, the vow will be honored, and my lord brother's soul will return, so that he may be my consort.
And I went in and hell nah. That fight is just something else. I mean, honestly, how should you beat him? Because all my attempts ended up like this. Yeah, you could say I didn't try it like 200 times, but I did try it like 20 times or so. And honestly, I just got like a few hits in. And yeah, even as I tried to use my summon, it was completely useless because the summon got like 4 shot or something like this. I mean, what should I do here? It's time to get some help online. And as a quick side note, of course, yeah, I watched a fight online because I just wanted to see how they dodge them. And then, of course, yeah, sure, there are some people which can honestly no-hit those with a rune level 1 and 0 blessing, which I don't even know how in which world is this possible. Okay, so that was a little bit demoralizing for me, but okay. So I looked around and found a build which seemed overpowered. The lightning perfume bottle with the roll of spark Azure 4. So I got them both. Rebirthed my character and tried again. But I don't know why, but my damage was pretty much shit and I did worse than before. So I tried something else. There was also a build which included a shield you can get for killing Black Knight Gary, whatever. And the shield is kinda overpowered because of its high physical and holy damage negation. So I tried that and yeah, it is pretty strong because you basically get no damage. But honestly, I couldn't work with this. That was even worse than with the perfume bottle. Like, how can you make this work? My stamina was out like in 2 or 3 hits, and every time I tried to attack, I always lost my guard. I mean, yeah, because I didn't have the right weapon, of course, because I tried a few different ones and some attacked faster than others, which of course is better. I think the only weapon which would have worked would be this stabbing rapier combo where you can just hold your guard and while holding it you can stab the enemy, then maybe with some bleed or so. That would have worked, but I didn't have this weapon and I don't think in the DLC is any weapon like this. So there I had to go yet another route. And this other route was to get a new summon, a Fire Knight Hild. And once again try the lightning build, because it was kind of weird to me that I did no damage. And then, bam! I just didn't do the attack the right way. And that was like, okay, holy moly, that is something I can work with. So pretty soon I managed some lucky hits and got into second phase. And honestly, I can tell you at this point, here was everything just luck. No skill involved, nothing. That was just luck, because I used my summon, I did like 2 or 3 attacks that landed on my enemy, and I got into second phase. Way too much damage and no skill. So what should I do here? I just take that, because if I want a little bit more skill in this fight, I will do that in my next playthrough, because that is my first time here and I don't care about doing like everything perfect the first time. It just isn't the way I want to play this right now.
At long last you are returned. Tarnished one. Aspiring lord of the old order. If you have known sin, if you grieve for this world, then yield the path forward to us. to I, Nicola, and my promised consort, Radahn.
So basically at this point it was just a matter of a little bit of learning, which in this case means just dodge like 1 or 2 attacks from him and then much luck. And since the damage here was kinda insane, I just needed to repeat this 3 or 4 times for some good hits and I was done. That was the plan. So I got close, but not close enough. But you know, at some point you just get lucky. Or in this case, in my case, I got very lucky and I was done. And holy shit, I should have played it normally, without a New Game Plus, without using only stuff from the DLC. That was just a huge mistake on my side, because I'm just not good at this game, and this DLC was just like 10 times harder than I expected it to be, and yeah. I will do another playthrough where I think I have a little bit better fights, and a little bit less of a hard time with the New Game plus situation. So I think that is my next step here. As we all know, it wasn't the best choice from my side to do it like this. But well, it's too late now, and it is what it is. And just
Promise me you'll be my consort. I'll make the world a gentler place.
look at him. Sexy bastard. Yeah, that was it. That was like my playthrough of the DLC. And yeah, I will add just this quick side note. I realized after I was done, only did like 4 out of 10, no, 5 out of 10 remembrance bosses or something like that. There is still like a boss like Bale or Midra, which should be like incredibly hard and difficult. So, you know, this is something for another playthrough where I don't do something like this. And so I know they exist, but I won't do it with this build because I got my last boss right here and it is done. So you, everyone who didn't beat Radahn yet, have fun and do it better than me. Good luck. Nothing more to say.